Hi everybody, my name is Barry Schwartz and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, May 18th, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com over the past week. First up, there may have been or may be a Google algorithm update rolling out. We covered this, I believe, like Monday or Tuesday. There's still some chatter about a possible Google update. I think it's more on the more risky or black hat areas. But definitely take a look at that. There are some signs now that things are changing in the tools themselves, like the tracking tools. But the chatter is low now. Chatter was pretty high, or relatively high, earlier in the week, and it has died down now. So we'll see what happens over the weekend, although I will be out on Monday. I have posts scheduled. I wrote them today and yesterday. But I will be out Monday, so if anything big happens over the weekend, I won't cover it until Tuesday. So I apologize in advance. So take a look at that, and hopefully nothing massive will happen over the next weekend or so. And if it does, I'll cover it on Tuesday. The bigger news this week is that Google has confirmed they actually cut down the search snippets they didn't give an actual number, but remember back in December, they increased it to 320 characters, which was previously was like 120 characters. And now it seems to be about 160 on desktop characters on desktop and about 130 characters on mobile. And we have some charts to show you that information. Danny Sullivan did confirm it. I said our snippets are now shorter on average than in recent weeks, though slightly longer than before we made the change last December. There is no fixed length for snippets. Lengths vary based on what our systems deem most useful. The length of the snippets are dynamic, so we're not stating a maximum length because of this. So that's Danny Sullivan talking about the snippets from a Google perspective. And then the next day after he announced it, or actually confirmed it, Danny Sullivan went ahead and said, or he basically was defending why Google won't give a maximum length or minimum length. He pretty much spent the whole entire day going through this. And I'm not going to go through it in detail, but he's basically saying, in short, we don't want to give a maximum or a minimum length on those snippets because, one, meta descriptions you can do whatever you want with. Two, most of them are dynamic anyway, so it might not even pull from the meta description. Three, we don't want you to go ahead and change all these things because in the future, maybe in a week from now or in 10 weeks from now or in 20 weeks from now or in 5 years from now, we might go ahead and change it. And we don't want you to go ahead in that. And Google never went ahead and actually told you to increase your snippets, your meta description, or decrease your meta description because, again, the snippets themselves are dynamic. Sometimes pull from the meta description, sometimes not. But Danny Sullivan did confirm that the rich snippets, the rich cards, the rich results are not really impacted by this change in snippets. Danny Sullivan also confirmed something that we've known for some time, at least by looking at the search results, that the personalized search results is something that's not really done by Google. He said it's very light. Let me quote him. FYI, personalization of results is very light. Most people searching in the same language and same location will see largely the same things. Location and language are far more influential about why results differ. So if you're searching for a barber shop, which I need to go to, Google will go ahead and personalize those results based on location stuff. So it'll show you local barbershops in the area versus somebody searching in Boston for barbershop will get something different than I see for searching in New York. But when it comes to the same person searching for the same thing, if you're searching for, I don't know, website, whatever it might be, how to use a lawnmower, you'll probably get the same results because personalization has very little impact in Google search. And this confirms something that I spoke to a Googler about, I think back in December or so. We're basically saying personalized search, which was a big thing, or at least being talked about as being a big thing years and years ago, where we had to use the add PWS equals 0 type of URL parameter to remove personalization, is really not a big deal these days, and that's very interesting to hear officially from Google, and it's nice to hear. Google said that the link from report or link from data that you have in the Google Search Console original version will probably be coming to the beta or new version of Google Search Console. He didn't really say it right, but this is John Mueller's way of saying, yeah, it's coming. So somebody asked John, is there any intention to reinstate the link from data for URLs listed in index coverage and other reports? This is really useful for debugging and is missing in the beta Google Search Console. And John Mueller said, we generally try to avoid pre-announcing things, but you're not the only one with that feedback smiley face. So that's kind of John Mueller saying, yeah, they're working on it and it will be coming. So that's nice to hear. at least a signal or a sign that it might be coming. Google News this week launched a new Google News experience on desktop, mobile, etc. With that, they dropped a lot of features that you might be using as a publisher. One of the features they dropped is called the Standout Meta Tag. And the Standout Meta Tag is basically a checkbox that publishers will be able to use, I think, 7 times a week to say this piece of content that I'm publishing really is above and beyond the other pieces of content that I'm publishing during the week. And Google publishers are allowed to use that 7 times a week. You can't use it more than 7 times a week, so Google will ignore it. That kind of let Google highlight your content because they knew you're not going to use the standout tag unless you thought it was really, really something that Google should look at. And it helped the content get higher in Google News and so forth. So they dropped that feature. In addition, they dropped the editor's picks feature from the Google Search Google News. And Danny Sullivan of the Google Search Alliance Liaison basically said, as part of the Google News, we have ended support for editor's pick feed and the standout meta tag. We'll have more to share on ways publishers can optimize visibility in the near future. So we'll see what Google has to say about that in the near future, but those features are gone, and you don't need to use them as a publisher anymore. So Search Engine Journal, Roger posted that Google has a new algorithm, or a publisher papered on a new algorithm, or 2 new algorithms that help Google automatically create content based on your articles or based on your content. And Danny Sullivan had to respond to that. You should definitely look at that. And basically, Danny Sullivan said, from Google, we publish research papers all the time on many topics. This specific research paper is from Google Brain, not from Google Search. And we've often said any Google research paper in general shouldn't be assumed to be something that is actually happening in search. As Danny Sullivan's way of saying, this is not a search thing, this is a Google Brain thing. This is probably not implemented. I know Google does use some AI and automated things to do feature snippets. But again, that's really exact copies of your content with extractions of your content as opposed to Google writing new content, but they are sourcing your content. So it's interesting to see this and to hear Google's feedback on that. Google has expanded job postings data to not just the US, but outside of the US as well, including places like Canada, I believe India. As this loads, hopefully I'll be able to share the specific countries. So places in Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa, India, Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, Chile, Mexico, Canada, and of course the U.S. So if you do have job postings, you could definitely take advantage of that job posting structure data and schema in those countries specifically, and Google hopefully will expand into more and more countries in the future. Google said if the faster we could crawl your content, the more we could crawl. And that's pretty logical, basically saying obviously if you could crawl faster, we could definitely go ahead and index your content faster and do more with your content, hopefully. So that's something to keep in mind with a faster server and faster website. It doesn't necessarily help you rank, it just helps Google crawl your content faster. Google, again, confirmed that 15% of all search queries they see are new, never seen before. The figure goes back at least to 2013, when Google also said that 15% of queries are new, but in 2007, Google said 25% of queries are new. So it is dropping, but it hasn't really dropped since 2013. You would probably see that increase because voice searches are much more long tail, and you probably see that also maybe increase over the years, but we'll see. We'll see what's going on. Maybe Google will release a new stat on that in the future. But as far as I know, that stat is the same. John Mueller and Maria Movia went ahead and actually confirmed that stat at Google I/O a week ago. Google Post for video upload now works. I've tested it 100 times in the past week or so, and finally it seems to be consistently working with the new UI. You should be able to use it if you have a video link content in the Google Post, and you drag it on there and it works, and you can actually go ahead and post videos in there, which is cool. I've tested it and it seems to be working nicely. Google Maps is going to notify the people who leave reviews when a business responds to that review. So if you drop a review for me on my local business and I respond to your review, you will be notified that I actually responded to your review, which is actually kind of interesting because it might go ahead and a lot of people did reply to reviews and expected the customer not to see that reply. Now, Google's actually telling you, hey, that customer is probably going to see your reply because we're going to email them that you replied. Google Publisher, AdSense publishers are saying the emails they're getting from Google AdSense around revenue reporting, so like, hey, you've earned X dollars this month, is wrong. Some people are saying it's 20% off. Some people are saying it's 75% off, but it's wrong. And it's typically publishers don't trust it. But it's interesting to see that, and hopefully Google can fix it. I'm not sure why they have to be wrong. The numbers are in the AdSense console. I guess it might be a caching thing. And finally, like we do every week, we like to honor, or the search community likes to honor certain people and personalities in the industry. So Jesse McDonald, Nick Leroy, Mark Scully, Tejaz Takar, and Andy Drinkwater. So thank you all for everything you do to improve the search community and make it a better place for everybody in the industry. Again, I will be offline on Monday. I do have posts scheduled then. I hope everybody has a great weekend. And again, this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable, seroundtable.com. My name again is Barry Schwartz, and today is Friday, May 18th. Everyone have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next. Bye.